So, and that's what we're talking about today. We're here talking about the wines of Ribera del Duero.
Exactly. One of the highest elevations in the world for red wine production. The highest in Europe and one of the highest continental climates. Very important to note is the continental climate. Everything is based on Tempranillo. Everything has to be at least 75% Tempranillo to be released. Most producers work with 100%. We have, of the four wines tonight, three of them are 100%. One says it's 10% Merlot. I'm questioning that. It's a Spanish wine label. I'm not convinced. But they're only allowed to blend with Cabernet, Merlot, Garnacha, and Malbec. I know one winery using Malbec, one using Garnacha, and everybody else is either about 5% Cab or Merlot, with the exception of Vegas Thethilia, who do a 20% Cab in the Unico and about 20% Merlot in the Valbuena.
Okay. We are talking about Ribera del Duero, and we might as well get started. And we're going to get started with what, at least for me, is the least typical wine of this flight. A Rosado, which
is only least typical because none of it makes it over here, because they drink all of it in Ribera.
Because they're very smart that way.
In the summer, all you drink is Rosado. They make a lot of Rosado. It's usually the young vines. They're not allowed to make white wine, at least with the DO label. But Rosado being technically a red, they do make a lot of it, and it is delicious. Tempranillo is a dry grape. It makes the most beautiful. That was very good.
Thank you.
Spill it all.
We're just sliding to some friends at the other end of the table.
The Tempranillo is a dry Rosado, so it doesn't have that cloying sweetness that you often get because you don't have the skin contact with a lot of red grapes, and it makes the most delicious Rosado in the summer. There are a few that make it here from Ribera del Duero, and the Avignelle, the one we're tasting, is incredible. Both price point, it's a fairly large winery. It's what they call a re-established, meaning it was an older winery that has been repurposed, but it's always been a self-contained entity. I love this wine.
It's a beautiful wine, beautiful color to start with, and a beautiful package. Which, you know, we talk about it as we think about it as being not that important, but it definitely helps form your impression on a wine. You know, some thought has gone on into this, and especially if you're in retail, you look at this and you think, I could sell this. This could sell itself. Stack this out. It's beautiful. But of course, you know, that's not what we're here for. We're here for what's in the bottle. It's got a beautiful color.
The magnificent color. 13.5 alcohol, so it's a decent Rosado. You're going to get a bit of buzz from it, but not so much that you're just going to get laid flat. We're tasting this warm, because when you taste a wine warm, especially a red or a white, you catch all the flaws, which you won't catch when it's cold. Cold, when you're buying, you have to taste at room temperature.
Yes. When you're selling, you sell it chilled.
Exactly. It's magnificent at room temperature. Cold, it's just going to knock you flat. And the price point is incredible for it.
So this is about $12 retail?
About $12. Comes from Burgos, which is right in the middle of Ribera del Duero. It's the largest area of the four subzones. Not really subzones. It's part of four automatanias. You've got Valladolid. Burgos is the large section in the middle. Soria to the west, and a little bit of Segovia to the south.
Segovia is really minor, and it's in different pieces too.
It's in different pieces, and Segovia is a lot of hills, and there's a lot of reservoirs.
Oh, interesting.
So you don't get that many grapes from Segovia per se.
So Segovia's got a lot of rivers running through it. Rivers run through Segovia. So is Burgos it's obviously the largest, and I was going to say the heart, physically it's the heart of the region. Is it the heart of the production? Is the majority of the production coming from Burgos?
Production is pretty much spread across the entire region. Valladolid is considered the finest land because it has a limestone base with a clay and gypsum on top. Burgos is much more clay all the way down. But the really, really hot village, the one that everybody wants their grapes from, Pingas, and everybody buys their grapes from and grows them in, is La Hora, which is in Burgos. It's pretty much right in the center.
So we don't have this on our map. We
don't, because it's a tiny, tiny, tiny little town.
But it's by Aranda, or Aranda?
It's to the west of Aranda del Duero, which is literally the center.
And here, just to put things in perspective, is a map of Spain with Ribera center north of the country.
Exactly. The entire region is about 90 miles by 20. So it's not that big. And I have about 250 winemakers.
It's like the size of Long Island almost.
Just about.
Yeah, very similar.
Exactly.